Alright, somebody is going for a 50% water, 50% Pedialyte swim. Not really a swim since she can't do anything. But honey. Baby. Okay, I'm getting a slight response. I just wish she wasn't. Oh man. I don't think this is going to do any good. Her tongue is no longer stuck together, but the egg binding situation hasn't improved. So, hi baby. Can I get a tongue flick, please? A little tongue flick? Okay. She's not supposed to drink this stuff, just soaking it. It is 89 degrees. I just temp gunned it, so hopefully this will help a bit. I'm going to hold her while she's in it. Okay. She can drink a little if she wants, but I don't think she's gonna. I've got my gloves on so I don't contaminate it. You know what, just in case. I did temp gun it, but she is 86. This is 88, yeah, so right around there. Okay, baby. I got enough Pedialyte, unflavored Pedialyte, for 2 soaks. So it's 2 cups of Pedialyte and 2 cups of lukewarm water. She has to soak for a bit. Okay, so I just set a timer for 10 minutes. Didn't want to set off other people's robots, so I didn't say the name. I stopped recording. I don't know that this is going to help. I kind of wish I could just leave her in here, but chances are she would drown. Oh, baby. So today, found her exactly the same way that I found her yesterday, which is in the same position that I had left her in. I got her out briefly, and she made an effort, although very slowly, to go around here, came around this bin, which was over here, ran around the outside underneath this bracket that I installed on this T8 animal plastics enclosure, went around, stopped there, continued around to her water bowl. For some reason we're not focusing. Maybe it's just my eyes. Probably my eyes. Made her way over to the water bowl. And her tail was at the edge of this thing, and she actually had a lot more diarrhea, which, strangely enough, is a good sign, because before she was pushing out a little drop for the last 3 days of fecal matter, which means that she was ultra dehydrated. So it looks like rehydrating her with the emergency care powdered food mix was the right choice. Maybe. It had occurred to me after the fact that she might, the food might get stuck in her stomach. I mean, the vet said, and the vet says a lot of things, but the vet said the antibiotics should not mess with her gut bacteria this time, and that even if she didn't have a ton of gut bacteria, this stuff is designed to be super absorbent, so it can just go through her stomach and be absorbed that way. You always turn on at the worst possible times. Whatever. We'll let it run. Hopefully you can still hear me over that thing, even though I know I don't enunciate very well, for whatever reason. Sounds normal to me, but comes across on the video and the audio as, well, I want to say some stronger words, but it's crap. Actually, no, you can't run, because you'll cool her water down. So, normally she would try and swim. I don't want to submerge her nose here. I'm just going to let her rest on my hand. There we go. There we go. Sorry if the video is shaking a lot. My heartbeat seems to be pretty dang hard right now, and it is literally moving my hat on my head from side to side. Honey, honey, honey. I don't want you to accidentally drop your head inside there. We're not going to record this for 10 minutes, or I'm not at least going to show 10 minutes. But since I have such a bad memory, I kind of want to see if I can see anything like muscle movements in here. Gasping for breath over here. Seeing if her heart stops, because, you know, I can actually see that through her scales with how thin she is. Tail curling to see if she's making an effort to push out eggs. This real sad thing is here, even though her body is failing, and even though she can't move very well, she's still 100% focused on trying to get these eggs out. Sorry, honey. 100% focused on trying to get the eggs out. And what I mean by that is, even though she has no strength and she just tends to lay in one spot, earlier, she's moving again, I just got to focus on her, but earlier, I'll try and point at it without taking my hand off of her. She's pulling away pretty strongly for some reason. Baby, you're making me worried. Don't submerge your face. Do you want to try and drink? Okay, she is drinking a little bit. But she probably sucked it in through her nose. Darn it. Because she immediately raised her head. Great. Technically, she's not supposed to drink this stuff. At least not in its pure form. Alright? Hope you have some strength at least to sneeze. One of the big fears right now is that she sucks in. They only got the one lung. The fear is that she sucks in moisture and it gets in her lung. If they don't have the strength to sneeze it out or huff it out or whatever they do, then they can drown really easily. So she doesn't have any strength for anything, except to focus on laying eggs, which is what I was saying. So before I forget, now that she seems to be focusing on getting that down her gullet, after her diarrhea and after I cleaned her butt up, because I don't want her dragging any bacteria into this thing, her lay box, humid hide, etc., she went back. I usually fluff the dirt, and she goes in there, and even though she's super tired and it took her forever to get from here on her heating rock, it's not an actual heating rock, it's just slate that absorbs the heat from this light that's in here. She went from that all the way around, did the diarrhea thing. Even though it took her forever to get from here to there, like, we're talking 30 minutes here. She used up all her energy there. The second I put her head into the fluffy dirt, she started digging and digging and digging and digging and pushing the dirt. A sad attempt, admittedly, but she is completely focused on getting these eggs out. I even saw her tail curl a couple times. So it's like, what are you doing, Alys? I mean, admittedly, she needs to pass the eggs, but she needs to also conserve her strength because she is just killing herself by depleting her energy. Also, in case anybody's wondering, the first time I took her to the vet, she was 312 grams. Third time she was 304, and we're only talking like a week, so she's rapidly losing weight, and that's from 408 grams, I think, when she wasn't gravid. Quite honestly, she never gained weight when she became gravid. She just used her weight to convert, body mass into egg, and then never gained any weight after that. Normally they gain a couple grams, like 20, 30, something like that, depending upon how heavy the eggs are. Baby, you still with me? All right? Just watching for a breath here. Literally, that shaking back and forth is my head. The blood pumping around my head. This is ridiculous. Honey? Really, I'm supposed to be massaging her while she's in here. There. You alright? Baby? She's holding her head up a little bit. You alright? I'm not getting a response. Honey. Okay. Well, here's something that always gets a response. They do not like the insides of their nostrils being poked. Okay. She's still there. For a second there, she was going to pass away on video. See if I can point out her heart. That's not apparent. Okay, about 1 minute left. Yeah, I was supposed to be massaging her belly this whole time. That looks like it's actually lower than it was the last time. Baby, did you unblock yourself? It doesn't feel any different. I wish I could just go in here without fear and push the egg down, but it's just, with where it stopped, I mean, he said with the ultrasound, although I don't know how accurate it is to see it with the, I don't really know how it works, but he said he saw 2 eggs stacked on top of each other right here, which I don't know. If they'd adhered, I can tear the oviduct if I'm way too aggressive. I'm trying not to be. There it is. Okay, right as I turned to tell the robot to shut up, I felt a contraction. Right here. And you know what? It feels like there's something that moved down in here. This is really concerning that she's not moving. Baby, did your... I can feel her muscles contracting, but if she's dying, then that could be just death throes. Baby. Nope, she's still here. If I can just work these eggs down to her cloaca, I can get them out. She might have a chance, but I really don't want to push it, so I'm just gonna rub her belly. I know Jermaine lost his Ghost Woma this year, but there was another year with, I think it was Tofu, where he said he massaged her belly, after trying to go through vets, etc., etc., and a giant egg mass came through. Tofu looked like she had more strength, though, than Alys does here, but still, I would hate to tear her oviduct. And the stupid thing is, normally she fights me. Normally it hurts too much or something. She's contracting, actually. You lifting your tail, baby? I'll have a little more time tomorrow to try to do this, since I have the day off. Oh, see, I think we are starting to hurt her because she's starting to expend energy to move. Or she might have felt something come loose. It's really hard to tell. Oh, see, she's doing tail curling. Are you about to poop or something? She might just soil this water in a second. This Pedialyte here. Can you put your head up there? I'm going to try. She's tail curling. Thing is, her belly is so caved in down there that without... So I can actually go a little longer, 5 more minutes with her in here. But she is doing contraction. It's at the tail base. See, the other thing is with those pebble-like eggs, they're really tiny, like the tip of my fingernail, not that we can see it here. smaller than the tip of, or the my whole circumference of my fingernail, and I'm worried that there's something stuck further down and I just can't feel it. So I really don't want to bump into those. Okay, baby. All right, sweetheart. I don't really expect anybody to watch this the full way through. It's pretty dang long as it is. I'm pretty sure we've made it over 10 minutes. But, let no one say that I don't love her. This has been... This is my everyday with her. Stupid thing is, it feels like they might be attached right there. I can definitely feel the egg. I just know if I don't do anything, she might not be here tomorrow. She's so weak. But I don't know what's going on. I don't want to kill her. I think her passing away from having stuff stuck in me not doing anything would affect me less than if I did something and she ended up dead. And I would never know if I caused the issue. God, that is so... You know, now that I'm feeling it, where the separation's at, it is not that big. These are more of those stupid pebble eggs, probably. It's probably one of those pebble eggs that's causing the blockage. And the one behind it actually feels a little larger. She's so thin that I can actually feel, make out the dimensions of it now. Gosh, why couldn't you have just gotten these out? And the stupid thing is, even if I hadn't bred her, this probably would have happened. Here's a little secret that I don't know if I've ever talked about. This is actually her 4th time being egg-bound, her 4th year in a row. Normally what happens is she gets egg-bound and she works the egg out just fine. And 2 out of those 4 times, she wasn't even bred. She has been laying eggs since she was 1.5 years old. The first 2 eggs she popped out were fuzzy and nasty. Technically, one was from the first clutch and the second was from the second clutch, and she reliably double clutches. Even if she's, like, say I got these eggs out, and this is what I've been thinking on. If I get these eggs out and she recovers, she's probably going to try, her body is probably going to try and double clutch. It might be so depleted of nutrients that it just doesn't, but I have not had a single year where she has not double clutched, even in fertile eggs. And which is still better than Cinder, because Cinder over here decided to quadruple clutch, which is something I didn't talk about. She had 4 clutches, which is insane. Normally that's something you hear about with tricolored hognoses. She dropped one of, I think it was like 17, the next one was 19, or something like that. And then she had, like, a month later, she had, so like after February 1st, yeah, so next month, March 3rd, I think, she dropped 2 more eggs, not in her lay box, but back there behind that thing. And then, I think it was beginning of last month, she dropped 1 more egg back there. Absolute insanity with that girl. I hope to God that she doesn't do that again. And it's just, it's freaking me out. Because what if the snakes that have lay infertile clutches with never having been with a male are the ones who are more likely to be egg-bound? And Alys was always destined to be a breeder, at least when I got her. I was 2019 was when I decided I wanted to breed hognose snakes. I actively went looking for more. I got Chaz, my lavender, from Jeff Gilwood, or JMG Reptiles, and I got Alys from a no-name breeder on Morph Market. And the reason that happened was I wanted to do Toffee Belly and Lavender together, fully realizing that I was just going to be creating hets. I was stupid. I should have gotten double hets if that's what I really wanted to do. It would have been a better marketing decision. I actually bought Chaz first. And then this girl here was the most expensive Toffee Belly on Morph Market. She was actually about $300 more than everybody else at the time. And it was love at first sight. I didn't make a choice based on her genetics, really. I mean, I was looking for a Toffee Belly, but, even in that picture, it was kind of apparent that I don't think I've ever seen a yellow Toffee Belly. So she's probably an albino. I'll never know. Unless her babies make it. But I wish I could go back and find her picture, because you'd probably understand why I chose her. She just had a ton of life in her eyes. You could tell exactly what her personality was from that one picture. She didn't have any more pictures. And if I remember correctly, that day Morph Market was having issues with their messaging system. Nobody could message. So I went and tracked down the no-name breeder on Facebook. And after I confirmed that what his store name was called, I went directly to the store, which I guess nobody else looked it up because it was in his About page on Facebook. And I clicked purchase, and I'm glad I did, because underneath her picture on his Facebook, like 20 different people were asking if she was still available. And he actually, because there were so many people, he actually had to message me on Facebook and say, "Are you the person who purchased her? Because I'm not sure with how my sales system works, who got her." At least he believed me. And yeah, I recorded an unboxing video. I didn't post it up until very, very later, much later, when she was already an adult. And I have a ton of pictures of her as a baby. I don't think many videos, but when I started free roaming them in 2019, actually I had free roamed them long before 2019. I think I started in December, shortly after I got the first two. Was more exploration because I wasn't in this room yet, but I would bring them up to the living room to explore. At least when I moved into this room, all the other hognoses would stick to the corners of the room. Corners, underneath furnishings. They didn't want to be seen. But here comes Alys, right up the center of the room. She would try and climb my leg. She would climb into my lap. She would explore everything. There was a shelf over here underneath the window at one point. She climbed all the way up to that shelf, all the way up to the top. I had to rescue her because I saw her head sticking out when I was going towards the closet. At least she wasn't as bad as Klaatu. Klaatu somehow got up my, at the time, shelving unit that held all their enclosures and got on top of the fan. And she dropped on my head. Not this girl, Klaatu. It's a nice memory of Klaatu. Because I had no idea she was up there. She just dropped on me out of nowhere. Yeah. Alys was super exploratory, super friendly. The nicest snake ever. She was a program snake. If she was, she'd be the best program snake ever to introduce people to hognose snakes. Because I don't want to anthropomorphize her, but it seemed like she really loved going up to people. Like, there was a time when we had people over, I brought her out to show off and put her in the center of the table, and she just went from person to person to person. She wasn't trying to get off the table, but she went person to person to person, and they would put their hands out, and she would get to their hands, quirk her head sideways. I don't know if I ever got a video of that, but I have one of Pogo doing it to an inanimate object, but she quirked her head sideways and just flicked her tongue all over those people. She would try and climb onto their laps. She'd go from person to person and investigate them all. She's just so curious. And I thought for the longest time she had no fear whatsoever. Until last year when I tried to introduce her to my mother's puppies, and she flew off the handle. She was so upset. Leave it to the robot to interrupt a story. But yeah, she was so upset. Big hisses. Would not calm down even after I got her away from the puppies. If you're thinking that she was actually, right there with the puppies were allowed to touch her, they weren't. She was behind a gate. There was no way for the puppies to get to her, but she knew they were there, and she freaked out about them. And I thought maybe she was just spooked by something, so, this year I tried it again before I bred her, after she came out of brumation, and I was holding her, and we had taught the puppies, this is a baby, and you got to be gentle with the babies, using stuffed animals. They're super gentle. Won't even put their paws on them. We taught them that they can't lick them. And she freaked out again, went off the handle. She doesn't care about people. She loves meeting my parents, my sisters, my brother, his kids. Never an issue. But she didn't like dogs. Alright, she's probably been in here for 20 minutes. Normally they just do the electrolyte soak in Pedialyte for 15 minutes. I hope you're still with me, baby. I don't know. Now let's get her out of here. Hopefully I'm not shocking her. I think I saw a tongue flick. You alright, baby? Oh. I think I saw her eye move. Alright. Bones are creaking. Oh. Okay. Stop the video there. I gotta wipe her off and put her away. Like I said, second that I put her in there, even though she has no strength, she starts digging. And you saw how lifeless she was when I pulled her out. She only has babies on the brain. That's it. This is killing me.